It's a dreary day here in the mountains of southern Appalachia. It's been raining on and off all night, and this morning I think it's finally stopped. Has it? Is it moved out? Matt was looking at the radar a minute ago.
It's close
To being moved out. So we can't really do any work outside, but we were going to walk around and just check on a few things. The men are working on cutting our trees down at the big garden, so we're going to walk down there, and they've broke for lunch, I guess, because I don't see any or don't hear anyone at the moment. But we're going to walk down there and see what they've accomplished and see what else is going on. Still just loving the way the new beds look where Matt's fixed them. We're hoping to do the other part of this arch in the next day or two. Hopefully we'll have that side done. Then the only other one we like will be this one right here. And then we'll be done with that chore. There's two like the one right behind this bed right here that's off the bank kind of. They've got asparagus in them, one on this side, one on the other. And we could do those, but they're still pretty sturdy, so we may wait. We won't be as pressured, in other words, to do those this year, even if we don't get them done till next year. I drug Matt up here in the woods. The other evening I was up here the other day looking around, and I found this. I found 3 or 4 of them, and I took one of them home. I remembered seeing them before, but I had never thought about what they actually were. So I took it home to Matt, and he told me that he'd show me the tree that they come out of. And it's that tree. He's standing up there by the tree now. Of course, it ain't got no leaves on it this time of the year, or no blooms or anything like that. But it's called some people call it a mountain magnolia. I think it's what some people call a cucumber tree, but I may be wrong about that. Anyway, it's got beautiful white blooms, but the tree's so tall, I don't know that we would ever see them. And this is the remnants of the bloom afterwards. I guess this is a seed pod if you broke it open. I'm trying to see down in there, there's a little hole. Anyway, it's really lovely itself. If you can see these it's got like a little pattern along the stem. And then, of course, the petals down here, which are kind of stiff now. When I first got it out of the woods, they were softer, but it's been laying inside the house, so it's kind of got stiff now. Anyway, we come up here in the woods so Matt could show me the tree that this come off of. These were the steps we had built last year that we were so excited about, and we've loved them. They've been so handy, made everything so much handier. But this was the thrift that I planted last year, and it has grew and spread some. I think this year it'll bloom and it'll be really pretty. It goes all the way down by the steps. Hopefully eventually it would fill in, over next to the house. But it has definitely grew and spread a little bit since I planted it last year. Down at the very bottom of the steps, I planted this, I think it's thyme, I think it's lemon thyme, and it has really grew and made it all winter, growing down longer. It's really pretty and stays low to the ground, and it smells so good. I didn't really do anything with it, didn't use it in any way, but it's there if we need it. I guess it'd make a good tea, wouldn't it, Corey? Mm-hmm. As well as flavoring things if you want to use it for seasoning. Look at these little sweet snowdrops that are blooming. These are really special because someone sent them to me and Corey, but mostly to Corey, when her and Austin got married, because they were blooming at their house, and then they wanted us to have some so that we would always remember Corey and Austin's wedding, which your anniversary's coming up pretty quick, right?
It is.
Yeah, so they're really pretty, and that's one of the first blooms of the year. This flower bed is a real mess. I need to clean it out. It's got so many leaves in it, but my Linton Roses, they've been blooming probably for at least 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even longer than that. They're really pretty. They need to be cut back some, but they're beautiful this time of the year, and by the time warm weather gets here, they're finished blooming until next winter. Earlier today, I up-potted my cabbage. Most of them are already back in under the grow lights. These we brought out here to water since I was putting them in this tray. Some of them look better than others. That one looks really good. But even these that are kind of puny, I think they'll take off now that I've put them in bigger cups. And the ones that look more like this are already inside. So even if these don't make it, there's still plenty for us to plant outside in just another few weeks. I've been keeping an eye on our garlic, and you can see it's really growing a lot bigger. Every time I come up here to look at it, it's grew a little larger. Up here in the front is where we planted some of our spring things last week. We've got a few rows over here and then some little beds. and none of it has come up yet. It hadn't been time. But a lot of people was concerned that we were planting way too early. This is like spring things. The only thing we planted so far is the lettuce, the kale, radishes, the carrots, the parsnips. All those things can stand some frost and some cooler weather, which we definitely, of course, will have. We've had big frost pretty much every night since we planted them. Maybe except for last night, it's warmed up some. But anyway, nothing up yet, but hopefully in another week or so, we'll have the first little seedlings of the year growing up here. So I said growing up here. This is exciting day. I'm sure you're probably thinking, Tipper, what's all that noise? I can't hear what you're saying. I hope you can still hear me. But that's the men working on cutting the trees. So down there, that will be the excitement for this year, is us actually getting to plant Pap's big garden again. We're going to walk down there and see what they're doing now, see what kind of progress they've made. I made a cake earlier today, so I'm going to take them a piece of cake. Take the two men that's working, Jaron and I think Ethan maybe. Anyway, I'm going to take them a piece of cake, let them have a sweet treat for after a while. Amazing how much they've already got done, how different it looks too. That's a good sign. You can see all where the tracks have tore up the garden, but look how good and rich the dirt looks. We've been watching them work, but they're taking a little break now. Really exciting to see how much they've got done, and makes you think of all the years Pap growing corn here. I guess you've got memories of the days when we'd make Corey and Katie help us on the weekends. On Saturday they'd have to work before they could go do whatever they wanted to do. They'd have to help us in the big garden.
Yep, they would say, come on, we're going to the big garden, let's go. And we knew, like, to roll out of that bed Saturday morning, you better get up because we're headed to the big garden.
You had to start before it got too hot. They helped us lots of evenings after school, too. I've got pictures I seen last night. I was looking for something else, but of Corey doing her homework, sitting over there along the edge. She had her backpack on, had her books out. She's doing her homework, but she was down here.
We would get off the bus and just, y'all would be out here, and we would just walk out here right off the bus and sit down and do homework or work or whatever, and then we would either bum a ride, or if you walked, then we'd have to lug our backpacks back up the hill. That was our workout. I could have probably run then with the backpack on, and not even back in those days, my whippersnapper days.
Yeah, whippersnapper. It just looks so different, doesn't it?
It's amazing how much light is in here, which I remember when it looked like this. I mean, this is, Dad said, doesn't that look like 2001? I'm like, yes, it does. I remember that. It's just a while ago.
spring of the year is an exciting time anyway for most folks because you're ready for winter to be over, especially though if you're a gardener or if you grow flowers or something like that, and you get to see all that new growth coming out. So it's always an exciting time of the year thinking about the stuff that we were talking about up at our house. But this year especially exciting, of course, because, you know, a little bit here, but also because of this wonderful opportunity to grow corn again in Pap's big garden.